All right. Uh, I did this video the other day, but in the middle of it or at the end of it, my computer decided it wanted to restart itself like it does from time to time. So I wasn't able to post it or even finish it because it just ruined everything. So here goes try number two. So in this video, I was kind of thinking around the idea of choices, like our choices define who we are, our choices define where we are. Like all the choices we've made up to this point in our life or wherever we're at in our lives have got us here. I'm not judging any of the choices that anybody makes because sometimes you have to make choices to learn from them when you make bad choices or you take a risk and it doesn't work out or anything in life like if for that matters I think it's better to make that decision and make that choice and take a risk and fail than it is to say, hey, I don't know if this is going to work out, so I won't make that choice, I won't make that decision, and then you're actually making a decision to not make that decision and make that choice. So for me, that's kind of like what I've been thinking about lately. And let's see, I wrote down some notes here. So because again, sometimes we let other people, we let our circumstances, we let anything in the outside world, the government, what everybody tells us, systems, with everything that's going on in the world, we might try to like hold on to everything or be afraid to maybe do something risky at this point because of stuff that's going on in the outside world. But I feel like if you maybe if you are at that point, maybe we should like like look at in the inside, and maybe if you're not ready to take that risk, maybe it's time to start looking on the inside because I feel like um, sometimes there's something we might be missing. Like for me in the past, I used to like let things stop me because I didn't believe I could do the stuff that I'm doing now. I never went to school to be a teacher or, stuff like that because I didn't think I could get up here on camera. I was so afraid of speaking in front of people that it held me back from doing a lot of the things that I wanted to do. I just didn't think I could do it because I was so deathly afraid of public speaking. And I believe meditation help was the start of that for me to take that next step. That's why I try to show how beneficial it is, but until you actually sit down and do it for yourself, you can't totally understand what's going on. Like Wayne Dyer used to always say, I can tell you all the laws of everything. Like I can explain to you how to ride a bike, like how to balance, how to pedal, but until you actually get on that bike and actually do it for yourself, you don't totally understand what it is. So I can get on here and tell you all the benefits of meditation and how it's improved my life, how it will change your life if you can continue to do it over time, and if you open up yourself to that idea. But until you actually start doing it on a regular basis, you won't experience those things for yourself. And you may not experience the exact same things I do because everybody has a different journey. Everybody has different choices they got to make in their lives. So, again, I can't tell you what to do, but there are things inside you. All the answers are on the inside. They always have been. And trust me, I know from my experience that I always doubted it for a long time. And the more that I'm actually starting to see it and believe it, the more I'm actually starting to hear them. Because they say, like, I heard a saying last week, and I can't remember where it was, but it was like, they said the ego screams and the soul whispers. And the problem is our egos are always screaming, and we always listen to that voice because it's louder. When our soul's trying to whisper to us to tell us what to do, we listen to the ego in the outside world, like all the doom and gloom of everything that's going on in the world, or just in your head. We always, all of us have those voices in our head that tell us we're not good enough, that we can't do this, you shouldn't do this, and like Tony always talks about, we got a survival brain that's always trying to keep us from getting hurt, keep us from you know not starving to death or possibly dying. Like it's trying to keep us safe and secure, and so then logically it thinks that sometimes the things that we're doing, or if we want to take a risk, well, you don't want to do that because then you might not survive that, when really that sometimes you need to, because and I was because sometimes you just got to take that choice, you got to make that decision, you got to do something. And again, it's I remember I read a book in my negotiations class in college, and it talked about if we could learn to fail faster, we'd succeed faster too. Is because everybody always like overthinks or might not do something because they think the results aren't going to be there, or they think that it can't get done, and instead you'd rather just do it and see what happens, because then if you do fail, well, that's okay, it's a learning experience. The only way you fail is if you give up, and you might, and that might only be temporary too. There was times in my life where I kind of gave up, but I also was able to be led back to spirituality and meditation and everything, and and I feel like that's the thing sometimes, is that uh, it, sometimes we just, I don't know, you get lost sometimes, or you start making some bad decisions and stuff starts to go the wrong way, or I know I have in my life, and then like even the last few weeks I've been kind of being lazy, like I haven't been wanting to get on here and do anything, and because I've been sleeping in and not using my willpower to get on here and do these. And then on Saturday I told myself I was going to start doing it again, and then all of a sudden, uh, the computer does that to me. I was like, man, that's awesome. Of course, I finally get back on after a week, and then all of a sudden the computer decides it wants to do that to me. But that's all right, because it gave me an opportunity to go here, but and get back on here, because I feel like I feel like my experiences, but those things are the things that I feel are good too, because I'm showing my experience that it's not perfect, that sometimes you're going to fall down. Sometimes you're not going to do the things you should be doing, but that's okay. But maybe I needed a rest. Maybe I needed a little bit of a break because I've been doing pretty good over the last few months. But that's okay too. But again, at the end of the day, you have to make that decision to get on here. You have to make that decision to do something. And like, okay, this was a good way to put this. Like Dean always talks about the power hour. It's like 20 minutes of meditation, 20 minutes of movement, and 20 minutes of learning. Now, again, I don't always do the movement. I do some. I'll do like light exercises and moving around and kind of, just light stuff. Anything gets you moving. I do super brain yoga too. I'll have to show that sometimes. That really like kind of wakes your brain up. It's kind of cool. But anyway, so I do that, and then I do the meditation, and then I do learning. And that's the thing, is like, and I notice when I do this to start my day, that my day just goes better, because you're starting your day off with like, I don't know, like it's like an energy boost of some sort. And I feel like sometimes just learning like stimulates the creative process. It stimulates your mind, and it gives you like almost like a sense of accomplishment. So it kind of gives you that good energy for the day. And I remember like last year I was doing this every day, and it I was really in a groove. Now I wasn't on here doing all the videos, but I was continuing to learn stuff so I could get on here this day and do it. So, but that's the thing, is sometimes you just gotta use these other tools that you have in front of you, that I'm trying to like give you, and stuff, is journaling, meditation, a little bit of movement, anything to kind of get you going. It's like, uh, I remember one time it was like really late, and I was messing around on the internet, and all of a sudden I came across this book. It was by Brian Tracy. It was called No Excuses. And I was like, well, it's late. I don't know if I want to do this. And the first chapter was free online, so I was gonna read it, and then I was like, nah, I'm not going to. And then finally, I was like, you know what, just do it. even though my brain and everything was telling me not to do it, I fought through that and said, you know what, I'm going to do it anyway. And what did it talk about? It said sometimes in life you're gonna be there and you're not gonna want to do it, and every voice in your head's gonna tell you not to do it. You're gonna say, oh well, I don't feel like it. When I feel like it, I'll do it. But the thing said, do it anyway, because sometimes you're never going to feel like doing something. Sometimes you're not going to want to do something, but when you force yourself and push through that thought, then you actually feel better. And it kind of reminded me too, because I remember in a psych class too, there was something telling me too that sometimes you can get depressed because you're not doing anything, and that your brain's telling you every reason to get up, but then you don't do it. And that's what I was kind of doing. It was just laying around and sleeping in instead of getting up a couple hours before I got to go to work like I used to and get everything done. And then it would give me time to get on here and do these things and do these videos before I went to work. And then I would come home and then post them after. That was my process, was to get up, meditate, do what I needed to do, get on here, do a video, and then come home from work and watch it and then post it. And that's what I was doing during the 30-day challenge. So, and that was the thing, is that no matter what, I forced myself to do it. It was that challenge. Well, now you got to challenge yourself to like make some different decisions, because again, it's like that insanity thing, doing the same things over and over and expecting different results. It just doesn't work that way. If you want to do something different, you got to make different choices. And it's like Dean always says too, is like, no one's coming to save you. You got to save yourself. You got to become, we all think we all are, like Tony always likes to say this too, we're all equal souls. It might have been Jim Rohn that said it, but we're not equal in the marketplace. He might have heard it from Jim Rohn. And that's the truth, is and I used to think that way too. We all are equal. We are, as souls, as human beings. But again, it's what we choose to do in those moments. Are we going to choose to do something? And I remember too, as the other day someone was saying like, and I was thinking this too, is like, I'm always looking at the top of the mountain, and and sometimes when you see that, you're like, wow, how am I going to get up there? And it becomes daunting. So you just kind of don't do anything. And instead of looking at it day by day, moment by moment, decision by decision, and that's the thing, is sometimes these little decisions, when they're stacked on top of each other, keep building and keep, you don't even have to start with a lot. Just even do 5 minutes of anything, even 5 minutes of meditation just to start. 5 minutes of reading, five minutes, watch a 5 minute video. Just like any little thing, journal a little bit, ask yourself a couple questions. What are you grateful for? Write down write down three things you're grateful for every day, and just watch it add up, and then keep adding to it. There was a book called Atomic Habits, and it kind of talks about the same thing, like building up little victories on top of each other. And and another thing Dean likes to say is, small hinges swing big doors, because the more you do small things, the more they add up to something big. And I remember I used to think too, because the board over here, I used to have it all filled with stuff, but I lost all my markers when I moved, so I haven't been able to find them. So I gotta find I gotta get new ones so I can keep writing on there. And that was some of the things, is like I would just say, just keep doing the little stuff day by day, and it just keeps adding up. But you have to make that choice to first do it. And that's the thing too with meditation. It helps us look inside, man. Everything that we have is on the inside. Everything that we need to know is on the inside of us. It's just that sometimes, like I said, that ego gets talking too much to you and drowns out the voice of reason, the voice of your soul, the voice of the spirit. And even ask for it. I ask for it all the time. Show me what you need me to learn. So I'm trying to see if there's anything else I missed in here. Yeah, and that's the thing, is you just have to do the one thing that's right in front of you each day. Even just do one little thing. Like, I've been watching videos now, because I had a meeting with one of the guys that he's like my mentor through uh, Mastermind, and he was telling me too. He's like, just start with an hour a day. Do an hour a day, and then it'll add up. You know, Do something every day, big or small. But watch a few videos here, do something there, meditate here. Just do anything that will lead you in the direction of your goals, no matter what that is. Like even if you're, like a lot of people like to yo-yo diet where they eat really good and then they crack and then they start eating bad, and it's kind of like an up and down, up and down. Where I was doing it to where I was eating like two good meals a day and one bad. So that way I was still getting the bad food. And over time I developed it in, and I still do that almost all the time. And I've been able to maintain a kind of the same weight for the last 3, 4, 5 years. But it's those little things that add up. But it's when you try to make sometimes when you try to make these big changes, make these big decisions, uh, sometimes they're hard to make, or you don't want to make, or you don't want to do them. Now, again, at times we're going to have to make big decisions. You got to make tough choices at times, but it could be like little choices that add up, and add up, and then all of a sudden the big one goes. So that's the thing is like, I just want to, and got too excited. No, the Choker Center always said like when you meditate, you you might find yourself making better choices because you're focusing in on that moment. The meditation changes your brain. It changes the brain structure. It changes neuroplasticity. It changes your. It will. It helps connect you from your or it helps connect you to your unconscious mind. It's that bridge, that gap from some of the things that we've been programmed in here that might be stopping us from making decisions. Bring that to the surface and let it go. So again, I can't overvalue the importance meditations had, movements had, journalings had, just in trying to make these little decisions every day and try to make better choices, and start small, let them add up, you know, and do the best you can. And again, no one's perfect. It's not always going to be perfect. And if it gets to the here and there where it's just like I did the last few weeks where it's not going good, you can always get back and make that choice to do something different. It doesn't matter how old you are, it doesn't matter how down you are, it doesn't matter what's happened to you. At any time, you can choose to do something different. You can choose to get on and learn more and develop yourself as a human being. We're all capable of it. And you just got to make that choice and see what happens. And like Tony always says, if it doesn't work out, try something different. If that doesn't work out, try something different, and keep trying until you figure it out. So again, like and subscribe. I'm just trying to get this stuff going again. And yeah, so that's my message for the day is we can always make a different choice.